Hi guys, this is Language Mantra channel, session number 9 of TITBITs. You know that the British rulers stayed in India for almost 200 years and they changed many institutions, socio-political and cultural structures. Now, do you think India too had some sort of impact on England? Either on smaller scale or major scale, whatever. For this answer, you need not become a big scholar. Just try to open your eyes and you can see. With your naked eyes, there are areas. We are trying to hint at two areas today. One is demographic and the other is linguistic. Demographic means just have a look at a busy London street and you will find almost 7% of the commuters come from Indian origins. And linguistically speaking, from the very beginning, the Anglo-Indians tried to incorporate Indian words into English vocabulary. There is a nice dictionary that is Hobson-Jobson, and it was first published in 1872, and the main function of the dictionary was to collect words of Indian origin that were used in the English language. And today we are going to talk about such things, only to create an interest in you. So let's see a few words of Indian origin, but that are found in the English dictionary. One is Bungalow. The second one is Hookah, and the third one is jungle. So let's talk about Bungalow. Originally, Bungalow means a small one-storey cottage. The coinage actually derived from Bangla or Bengal. Bangla means in Bengali it is Bangla, and Bengal in Hindi it is Bengal. If you have heard that famous song of KL Saigal, Ek Bangla bane nayara, I'm speaking of that very Bangla. If Bengal or Bangla refers to a geographical territory and its language, the Anglicized version, that is Bungalow, refers to a particular type of residence, cottage. And this word dates back to the 17th century. A bungalow is made of simple things like, corrugated sheet, then common clay, then wood, bamboo, and straw, etc. The straw thatched cottage roof makes the house relatively cooler. Later on, brick-built houses of this type, smaller units, were also included within the definition of bungalow. During the British era, the Anglo-Indians and British officers normally used to stay in bungalows. And later on, the fashion of bungalow became quite popular. If you remember, in 1920s, a vast area of New Delhi, known as Lutyens Bungalow Zone, was created to accommodate British officers and powerful people. And later on, this fashion of bungalow, it became popular in other parts also. For some wealthy Indians, this bungalow culture became a status symbol, and they own their bungalows, normally away from their home. The middle class mind was very much critical of this culture sometimes, and they associated this bungalow culture with some immoral activities. The meaning slightly changes. In England, this bungalow means simply residence, whereas in India, this bungalow relates to a particular aristocratic culture. So this is the difference. Now come to the next word, that is hookah. Hookah is a popular word. It's a kind of, a complicated smoking instrument, you can say. It has three parts. One is the top upper part and the lower chamber. Upper part is used to hold tobacco and fire, and the lower part is to hold water, and there is a pipe or a tube attached to it for smoking. A hookah actually heats and vaporizes tobacco, and that smoke is made to pass through the water and then to the pipe and finally to the smoker's mouth. So this is the technical aspect. It is said that this hookah was actually invented by a Persian physician of Akbar. His name was Abul Fath Gilani, and he invented this instrument in Fatehpur Sikri. This is the background story. This fashion of smoking became quite popular among Indian aristocracy and rulers. Later on, this habit infected the Anglo-Indian populace also. And this way, this word was transported to England. William Hickey, in those days he was a kind of journalist. He once tested this after coming to India, Kolkata, but he didn't like it. He recognized the popularity of this kind of instrument. The way coffee houses were popular in England, hookah bars were popular in India. They were either run on commercial basis or non-commercial basis. There is a humorous name for this hookah, that is habul babul. The culture of hookah, it had its ups and downs, and nowadays it is almost replaced by cheaper and easier form of smoking items like bidi, cigar, cigarette, etc. And now we have the third item. That means jungle. It is another popular word that was imported from India to England, and it is frequently used. So jungle, this word actually comes from Sanskrit origin, that is Jongla. But Jongla means dry land. And the sense of forest in this word comes from a Persian word of the same pronunciation, jungle. A jungle is a vast area of wild vegetation, say impenetrable and infested with insects, snakes, and wild animals. By connotation, this word refers to a place that is opposed to the civilized world. That means you cannot expect the rules of law. The politicized meaning of the word jungle is a byproduct of colonization. In that sense, jungles of India, Borneo, and even African continent is invested with meaning more than topographical. Some literary text may substantiate that meaning or may throw some light on this issue. For example, we have our own Rudyard Kipling, and in his stories, the jungle animals, balus and tigers, they speak like human being, and by implication, the human world and the animal world, these two are equated. Now, The story of, Upton Sinclair, the jungle, is a different kind of jungle story. He hints at the industrial jungle that is also not habitable for human being. Now, while speaking on, say, Westmuller's Darjan and Joseph Conrad's Heart of Darkness, critics like Edward Said and Chinua Achebe criticized the treatment of jungle by the Western writers. In their opinion, their treatment of jungle is biased, and in that case, jungle becomes a metaphor of, say, a metaphor of the dark world or metaphor of the non-white world. And these are the items actually we have discussed today. If you find it interesting, you just let me know. And finally, we request you to view our channel, to try to subscribe it, like it, dislike it, comment on it. Let us know whether it is useful or not. That will help us continue this channel. So thank you very much. Have a nice time.